Hey good people, and welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a while since I dropped my last video, and that's been because I've been enjoying the holiday season and shooting videos for the cooking channel. But I hope to get back into the groove of things going forward. But in a few moments, I'm going to share yet another unpopular opinion on the Temptations TV series. Now I know that this series is beloved by many people, but I really feel that this opinion needed to be shared, and I'm sure that there will be plenty of pushback with it. So to everybody out there, please feel free to sit back, buckle up, and prepare to agree or disagree with what I'm about to say. The Temptations miniseries came out in 1998, and while it was a very long watch, there were a number of amazing things that I can acknowledge about this project. For starters, the series did an amazing job with casting the actors who look similar to the real Temptations. The series did an equally amazing job with the costume design and choreography. I truly appreciated how the series was able to incorporate all of the Temptations' greatest hits into dynamic, choreographed performances, and the attention to detail let me know that most, if not everyone that was attached to the series, worked very hard to bring the Temptations story to life. And even though the acting performances were amazing across the board, I think it's safe to say that Leon stole the show as David Ruffin. There are a ton of memes across social media that are in honor of his performance. So with all the overwhelming positive comments that I have about the Temptations miniseries, I know many of you are asking yourselves, why the hell does he want to remake the series? Well, my answer is pretty simple. Because with all the greatness that came with the Temptations miniseries, where the series truly dropped the ball was in its storytelling. In my opinion, the overall story for the Temptations miniseries isn't bad. In fact, I think that the series does an amazing job setting up the story of how the Temptations were formed, especially with the limited time that they were given to accomplish that. However, towards the second and third acts of the miniseries, the story gets a little choppy. For instance, we as the audience saw that Paul developed problems with alcoholism, but we really don't dive deep into why he became depressed and committed suicide. It is implied that him committing suicide was solely because he couldn't be a Temptation anymore, but that wasn't entirely the case. The miniseries also plays fast and loose with the facts regarding Eddie's time with the Temptations. For example, in the miniseries, Eddie left the Temptations after realizing that Paul was not coming back to the group, when in reality, he had already left the group and started his own solo career prior to recording Just My Imagination. In addition to the random scenes that were introduced in the third act of the miniseries, I did not appreciate how the show only paid tribute to Blue when he died, but they glossed over the deaths of Paul, David, and Eddie, while failing to explain how their deaths may have impacted the rest of the group members. And finally, there were at least 10 Temptation members that were shown throughout this series, but several of them didn't even get any character development or so much as a name mention, which I believe was disrespectful. So the next question that you all may have is this: what would a Temptation remake look like? Well, if I were given the power to create this series, I would want to take my time with telling the story of the Temptations and all their members. Just like with my pitch to remake the Jacksons in American Dream series, I would want the Temptations to be a 5-season, 10-episode per season epic adventure that would possibly be shown on Netflix or BET. I would like the same team that did the New Edition series to work on this remake. For the first season of the Temptation show, I would like to see much of what was already shown in the miniseries, with Otis and the group members rising to popularity, as well as a proper character development for all the people that would become members of the Temptations. I would want the show to go a little deeper with the Supremes and their relationship with some of the Temptation members. And the first season would end with Berry Gordy signing the group to Motown. The second season would show the Temptations rise from the bottom to relevancy. We would get to learn more about Motown and Berry Gordy, the family dynamics of the Temptation members, and we would also be introduced to David Ruffin, as well as how his joining the group impacted the group members. We would see the Temptations going on their first tour, the notable acts from the tour, and how the tour impacted the members of the group. The second season would show how David's rise in popularity would make him difficult to work with, and it would end with David getting kicked out of the group. In the third season, we would get to see the character development for Dennis and how the Temptations initially dropped him from the group with a promise to rehire David. But when David was a no-show, they rehired Dennis back. But we would also take a deeper dive into Blue and Paul's health issues, as well as Eddie's issues with Otis and Blue. There will be a scene of Otis reaching out to Richard for help singing Paul's parts. In this season, there will be an entire episode dedicated to the events that led Paul to commit suicide. Eddie will eventually leave the group, and the season ends with the audience being introduced to the new Temptations, which have Otis, Blue, Dennis, Richard, and Damon Harris. In season 4, we will see the events that led up to Dennis getting fired from the group, and the group's decision to move to LA and leave Motown. We will get to see the solo careers of David, Dennis, and Eddie during the season, as well as the Temptations slump with Atlantic Records. We will still get to see the scene of Blue getting shot and him telling Otis to continue touring overseas. During this season, we get to understand David's spiraling issues, as well as the events that led up to the Temptation reunion tour. And we also get introduced to Rick James, and Eddie learns that he has cancer. The season ends with the Temptations being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And for the final season, we get to see the decline in popularity for the Temptations, as well as the deaths of Eddie, Blue, and David. We then get to see Otis leading the Temptations group, while Dennis leads another Temptations group. And the scene ends with Otis leading the latest roster of Temptation members, as well as a montage of real Temptation footage, and footage of how the Temptations had an impact around the world. Now I know that this pitch is far from perfect, but I wanted to provide some justification for how the remake could have made sense, and how it would not be an unnecessary remake or just a cash grab. But I know a ton of you like the Temptations the way it is, so feel free to let me know what you think about my opinion in the comment section, and don't be afraid to let me have it, because I'll definitely respond to everybody. Until next time, stay tuned and stay safe. Peace.